Hey folks, AJ here, CEO of Snapser. Today we have something exciting to share with you. So as you all know, a lot of devs, even non-devs, are creating experiences, games, apps on vibe coding platforms like Lovable. And our mission at Snapser is to really allow anyone creating these experiences to go from just simple prototypes to deploying them on a highly scalable backend which supports which is multiplayer by default within a matter of minutes. And we're actually going to see an exciting new feature that Snapser's recently developed. Uh, so for this demo, what we're going to use is we're going to use Lovable, and then we're going to use Snapser to create a backend for it. Now, who's this video for? I would say since we touch code, it's still for devs, but you'll see how easy Snapser has made it such that even non-devs can really leverage this technology with ease. So what you're seeing on your screen here is, I've gone to Lovable and told it to build a really simple racing game, right? Nothing fancy. I told Lovable that, I want to be able to store some data in the cloud, perhaps keep track of, the number of laps the user is completing. Uh, with that said, we did tell Lovable to create a sort of a common file called Snapser Manager and just put, stub methods in it such that, every backend call kind of goes through that file. It's a typical technique which allows Snapser to do its magic. Uh, what we've done next is we've connected this project of Lovable to GitHub, which you can see right here. So this is the project that I have checked out, which Lovable rather has stored. And now what I want to do is I want to copy the URL, and let's now open up VS Code. I am now going to just open up terminal, and let's just git clone the project right here. There it is. As you can see, that's the project that Lovable has created. And thanks to the prompt that I just mentioned earlier, what Lovable has done is in a very basic format, just kind of created this Snapser manager. But as you can see, it's all just stub data. This is not real data at all. There's not even a leaderboard name in here. And so that's kind of our setup. Now, what we want to do is we want to check out how the game plays. So I'm going to go back to Lovable and let's start playing the game. So I'm just going to put in, test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's hit continue. As you can see, the to-dos that, it's all fake. Uh, you know, uh, Lovable is expecting us to build the login, build, the ability to store the data. So nothing's actually going to any backend at the moment. So let's go back. And now let's turn our attention to Snapser. So Snapser is a backend platform that can power games, apps, any kind of digital experiences using what we call snaps. Snaps are nothing but think of them as functionality that you get out of the box, and Snapser kind of assembles these snaps together to build your own backend. But we didn't really want you to kind of try to figure out what kind of a backend you want to build or you need for your racing game. That's why we have Cortex, which is Snapser's AI backend engineer. And what we're going to leverage here is a new feature we recently added, which allows Cortex the ability, or gives Cortex the ability to scan GitHub repositories and figure out the ideal backend for that repo. So let's take that for a spin. So I'm going to click on GitHub and I'm going to tell Cortex to scan a repo. It's then going to do the GitHub Connect for me. It's going to ask me to pick up a GitHub owner. So I'm going to pick my name. And there you can see all the fun side projects I've been working on. But here's the IP Legend Racing game that Lovable has created for us. So I'm going to tell the Snapser AI backend engineer to just pick that up and start its process. So there you go. It's now cloning the GitHub repo. This agent is cloning the GitHub repo. It's actually going to go file by file and with its own intelligence try to figure out what kind of a backend do we need. This is where, in your prompt on the front end, if you're given any kind of, feature ideas to Lovable, our analyzer is able to pick that up and translate those to snaps so that we can build a backend that is compatible. So check this out. It's completed this. And what it has done for us, it's given us this integration code. So I'm going to copy this integration code and let's open up VS Code and we're going to replace the Snapser manager with this. And let's scroll up. And as you can see, that there are import issues, but that's because you've not downloaded the SDK. That's fine. But Snapser Cortex is automatically able to give us this code that we can just put in. The next thing we want to do is it's also given us an entire plan, which is, I'll just walk you through step by step. So it looked at our repo, it identified that as a front-end repo. It also gave us a summary that it seems like we're building a racing game. It then analyzed the repo, as I was saying, and picked up or recommended that here are the snaps that we need, which we should have in our backend. And I think it picked up them really well. It picked up auth, leaderboard storage, which kind of is perfect for what we need for our game. And then it's giving us a plan, which is, hey, go in, create a snap-in, download the SDK, and integrate your code. So now let's walk through this step by step. It's automatically built us a plan, very similar to what a replit does. That's a name, that's the backend that it's building. You can also view the architecture, go in depth, look at the data planes it's spinning up, so on and so forth. But then it's also giving us the ability to do some quick setup. The quick setup really allows us to, go from 0 to 1 very, very quickly. So if you remember looking at Lovable and even our Snapser manager code that we spit out, we are using a username password auth. And so all you have to go here and do is check username password. Next, it's detected that we have a leaderboard and it's given us code for it. And it's asking us to create a leaderboard called as laps completed. So I'm going to pick that up and I'm going to just add laps completed right here and hit save. And lastly, we want to store all this data in the cloud, which Snapser provides. And the thing that we're storing there is user data. That's our JSON blob key. And we want to come into cloud data storage settings, add our user data, hit save. And that's kind of it. So, what Cortex has done, it's created an integration code, given us a way to kind of, pre-configure things for our backend so that, it becomes easy. By the way, you could absolutely do this later as well, but this widget is kind of allowing you to do it very, very quickly. And if we're happy with that, let's run the plan. And there it is. While we are now staring at the screen, the Snapser agent has automatically created SDKs for us in various languages. In our case, I think we're going to pick TypeScript and hit download. In the next 20 seconds, the Snapser Cortex agent is now building us a custom SDK for this very custom backend that Snapser built. And there it is. The zip file is what we're going to inject or embed into our code base. So let me now hit save as, and I'm going to pick the Lovable Lap Legend Race Game folder. Let me hit save. There it is. Now it's been stored there. You will be able to see it right here. And so I'm going to open up Finder and I'm going to unzip it. There it is. It's now been unzipped. And I'm just going to rename it as Snapser SDK because it's easier to read, and copy that over to the source folder right there. And now that we've done this, if you go back to our Snapser manager, there it is. Magically, all the import statements are now working fine because it was Snapser itself who had generated this SDK. As well as the integration code for you. So with literally no code change that we've done so far, we have a fully working game. Now let's take that for a spin. I'm going to commit this back to Lovable so that we can go back to Lovable and now check it out. So I'm going to come in here and let's do a git status. Oh, that's right. I'm not in. Now if I do git status, I will be able to see the changes. I don't want the zip file, so I'm going to just remove it. But let's add the SDK and the Snapser manager. I'm just going to blindly add that in, folks, right now. Let's hit commit. This is Snapser integration. Let's push that to main. Now that it's committed, we can now go back and check whether our backend is actually up or not. And yes, it is up. So that's good. And now we can go to our Lap Legend game and I'm going to hit refresh so that Lovable picks up the latest code from GitHub. And now that we're here, this should theoretically start talking to Snapser. And so let's take that for a spin. So my gamer tag used to be Fury, and I want to just choose password 12345. Don't obviously do that in real life. Let's hit login, and bam, check this out. We actually hit the Snapser backend right here, and we received our user ID and user token. So it's actually talking to a backend. Next, it tried to get user data, but we've not saved any data yet, which is why we're getting a failure right now, but that will soon change. Let's now take the game for a spin. So I'm going to click on Start Race, and this is a game where I have to go around, and it's much harder than it seems, folks. You have to complete 3 laps in the fastest possible time. There it is. I took about 12 seconds, and check this out. It actually stored our score in the Snapser leaderboard. It also saved our fastest time so that if we refresh this, we can start seeing our final time. If you now go to Snapser, you should be able to see in your infrastructure logs that there is activity happening and there are calls coming in. So this is how we've gone from not writing even a single line of code and using Snapser to take anything that you're creating on Lovable from just prototypes to it working on a fully functional Kubernetes backend on Snapser within a matter of a few minutes. Hope you enjoy this and let us know what you think.